I've bought VW's greatest engine ever, and we're going to strip it apart to see what makes it one of the best engines in the world. For £75 on eBay, I've bagged myself a truly legendary engine, the Volkswagen 4-cylinder diesel PD 130, the 1.9 TDI. I've covered some of the worst engines, stripping them down and making fun of them, but this is the other end of the scale. It may not look like much, but this is a world-beating motor. I've brought this PD down to the legends at Darkside Developments, the go-to diesel engine tuners in the land. They've produced some massive diesel builds out of this workshop, V12s, V10s and 1.9s, all diesel. The goal for today is to strip down this PD 130 to uncover its secrets, but before then, what is a PD engine? PD stands for Pumpdose, or pump nozzle in German. That refers to the engine's injection system. It uses direct injection, and VW went for chunky injectors on it through a partnership with Bosch. A 1.9 PD can come in numerous power levels, from 90 all the way up to 150. But my one, the PD 130, is seen as the pick of the bunch. With a remap and some basic upgrades, we're talking 180 horsepower, all while achieving 50 mpg plus. The 1.9 4-cylinder diesel technically isn't the only PD though. There were other engines from the time, like VW's 3-cylinder, the 2-litre TDI, the 2.5-litre inline 5, and even this chunker behind me, the 5-litre V10 TDI, are all within the PD engine family. It's hard to fully put into words just how important this engine is to the success of VW in the modern era. The Mark IV Golf and B5 Passat most famously used the 1.9 PD, but it also found its way into endless Volkswagens, endless Audis, endless Seats, endless Skodas. It was so versatile, reliable and powerful that it spread its wings into virtually the entire VAG group. When looked after properly, these things can apparently soldier on for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles without any major issues. It's an absolute tank. So let's take a look at some of its componentry. I grabbed Ryan, one of the owners of Darkside Developments, to take me through this PD strip down and to be our VW engine oracle for the day. Ryan, the 1.9 PD, how good is it? Best engine ever?
I'd say yes. There's a few engines that make a little bit more power, but they're more expensive. But yeah, this is kind of the most popular engine, especially if you look at the YouTube views on our videos. The PD is always the one. If we ever say we're putting a big daft engine in the car, everybody always says put a PD in it.
So 1.9. Yeah. Well, I did have a look at your channel, and when I searched by popular, I think 7 out of the top 10 were 1.9. Yeah. So it's clearly a bit of a click machine. This thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're still pretty popular, and they just don't seem to die. So they just go forever. I think they'll still be, like we're talking about earlier, there'll be a taxi in Europe somewhere going forever with one of these engines in. So
okay, well we'll dive into why that's the case throughout, but. Basically treat me like the apprentice. I'd quite like to strip this thing right down and see what makes it so good. So if you've got the tools, let's bang on.
Yeah, let's get cracking. I'm going to put my gloves on, eh?
Okay, fine. I'll happily get shouted at. I like to feel an engine, you know? If you are a PD guy or girl, the best thing you can do for the health and longevity of your beloved car is to get yourself one of these. This is an OBD11 car scanner, and they're sponsoring today's video. OBD11 is a car diagnostic scanner that's especially compatible with VW, BMW, Ford and Lexus. It can scan your car to check for any issues, make sure it's running healthy, but also unlock the full potential of your car. By using my discount code Fernie, you can get up to 20% off depending on what you pick, so crack on. Let's scan this car. What's cool, if you're a Volkswagen diehard, is that OBD11 has a VAG group specific app too, which allows you to dive in even deeper into the electronic brain of your car. The Pro plan with the VAG app takes things further than the already advanced diagnostics and unlocks manual coding and adaptations for Volkswagen Group vehicles, even allowing you to check in on a hybrid battery's condition. Let's plug this baby in and chat to this car. It has 299,000 miles on it, like any good PD Golf. This one could be interesting. just getting into this car, you switch on the ignition, it's screaming at you to have a service, it says there's no coolant, the immobilizer comes on and off, so let's give it a scan. Do you know what? My man Kello at Swallows Fab, we've scanned it, despite all the bleating it was doing earlier today, it's only got 4 issues. Okay, so the main one's engine, we'll dive into that. Faults, engine control module ECM disabled. The fault code is P1570 and the status is intermittent. So maybe something to look into next. Okay, we've got one in airbag. Let's look at that. Is there anything too mental? Faults. Supply voltage signal too low. So your airbags might work, they might not, Nick. I feel like you're the sort of guy that flies by the seat of your pants, so you should be all right anyway. Right, let's just clear them. Hold it down, does its thing. The owner can then check in on these codes after some driving to see if there's anything more serious that needs looking at in a workshop. There's also a whole load of apps to personalise your driving experience. For example, if you've bought a foreign car, you can change the readouts to English. So click the link in the description below and use my discount code Fernie to get up to a massive 20% off depending on what you pick. Back to PD heaven. Bought it for 75 quid. Not bad for a PD.
No, I don't think you've done too bad, as long as it's never going in a car again.
Well, yeah, it was clearly part of a project. So I'm interested to see what state it's in, because he has bailed from said project.
Yeah.
So it could have something
for
wrong
a
with
reason.
It. Now, this is missing these, right? These were in the deal. Where would these fit? Where would you place these?
Right, I'm going to make myself look a bit stupid here now. So they could be the wrong way. Yeah, they're the wrong way around. It's that one and that one. And then that one and that one. That one upside down.
I grab this over here.
Yeah.
This is kind of what makes a PD, right?
Yeah.
So this
unit injector
is a diesel injector,
yeah,
and it's essentially controlled by this cam system here. So how does this work?
So basically you cam phasing, so you can get this in the wrong place and mess things up, but if the cam's all set nicely, this rocker, the injector's sort of shoved in there. Oh, shove it in. We'll shove it in. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yep.
So the injector's kind of like that. When the cam's turning, it pressurizes this. So I think these go up to, at peak, the 2000 bar, which is like probably 8 years ahead, maybe 10 years ahead of the common rails at the time.
Right.
So that's why VW chose the PD over the common rail. But that's 2000 bar peak, whereas the common rail, if it's a 2000 bar system, would be 2000 bar all the time at high load.
Okay.
So this is quite a soft start, big squirt in the middle, and then sort of tapers off. So obviously as the cam's turning, it's pushing the plunger down, the electronic solenoid opens, and then that squirts diesel straight into the combustion chamber, which in the diesel's in the piston. And then, yeah,
so
big power.
To me, because it's like a mechanical injection system, it's just very simple. There's not much to go wrong here.
Yeah, there's just a 12 volt.
Timing, right?
Yeah, the timing needs to be right. As long as the wiring loom that's normally in here is all in good condition, which they do fail, but they're not expensive, not hard to change. Yeah, pretty simple.
And it's
really.
also, it's a single cam as well.
Yep.
And everything looks chunky immediately. Everything just looks really solid and well built.
Really stout. You're not gonna snap a camshaft or anything like that. They do wear out eventually. I worked with a guy who worked at Shell, and he was trying to figure out for VW why the cams wore, and they never actually found out the reason.
Okay, so that is our first weakness. It's not a major one, but
yeah,
the cams
they run for a
down.
long time with the dodgy cams until eventually they're just making like no power. So I think I've got one that's worn a little bit.
Here's one we made earlier.
So yeah, you can only see on this one, that's starting to go more round. Sometimes we take them out sometimes and it's completely round, like there's just no lobe there anymore.
And is that because of the interaction with these rockers here?
No, so that's the rockers scored that there. So the big thing with the rockers that can fail, which is a second problem, I think that one in your hand's got it. Oh no, this one. So that actually is a rivet that should block off an oil gallery inside this, and that's eventually going to pop out. And when that pops out, you start wearing the cam on the injector lobe, and you wear the injector out because there's no oil injector. Yeah, so that's not a massive problem. You can just knock that back in and just tack it in or something like that, or whatever you want to do.
Okay, and then these injectors, people say online, these are chunky for what they are. Is
Yeah.
that correct? What makes this a bit of a beast?
So inside this injector here, you can just see it in the middle there. It's a diamond coated, well, diamond like carbon, so it's not diamond, but a DLC coated plunger. These are 8mm standard, which we did do some injectors that had a 9mm plunger in, which were too expensive, so we didn't really push them. That's what's creating the pressure. And then you've got your big chunky solenoid here, which compared to like a common rail injector, this is massive. So these really fail that often. You've got to try to kill a PD engine fuel-wise to damage the injector. But then one of the other Achilles heels of these engines, these seals are what separate off the high and the low pressure and the feed and the return fuel. So I don't think I'll get upset some people on the internet here, but can you see they're tiny little holes there?
Yes.
That's where the fuel goes into the injector.
Okay.
And then this hole here is where the fuel comes out. I might have it the wrong way around, actually, thinking about it. But anyway, so just picking that up and doing that to it can damage that injector because you can block these little holes up and then you're getting debris inside there,
fragile.
which a lot of people don't even know there's any holes there. But the big thing with these seals, you can see already, this one's got a little bit of damage to it. You've got to be really careful getting them in there. And then obviously there's a lot of force acting upon these, which moves the injector. It's only held in with one little bolt.
Okay.
The injector rocks around and damages the inside of the head. So then you get seal issues and you get diesel in your oil, hard starting on a morning and stuff like that. But you can fix it pretty easily. If you get there early enough, you can fix it pretty easy. But
immediately, in terms of the PD, its main things are being, well, versatile, but also powerful and reliable.
Yes.
You've got power.
Yeah.
And then the simplicity and chunkiness of
yes.
this, you've got your reliability.
Yeah, we're talking about all these problems, but there's hundreds of thousands, millions of these engines, millions of miles. So
compared to a Rover K series, my beloved Rover K series.
Yeah, you need to drop that one.
I mean, this is an absolute tank.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Before we dive any deeper, yes, this was a project engine, 75 quid. It didn't have the injectors in it, hence why this is all sitting proud. It also didn't have a turbo, but you've handily got one here. So this is a stock one, correct?
Yep, so that's a PD 130 turbo, that one, if I look at number. Yep, PD 130. So that'll do like 170 horsepower with you, maybe 180.
So again, in terms of the power potential of this, can this turbo actually pack a bit of a punch just as it is? A bit of a remap on these, good to go?
Yeah, 20%, 30% sometimes with different engines. Some are detuned more than others, but this is 170, 180 horsepower with quick remap on, standard fuel and everything.
So against other diesel engines at the time, what made this just stand out compared to the rest?
Yeah, I don't think there were anything that compared to it power-wise. I think when the PD 130s and the PD 150s came along, which were probably 2001, that were like, gone from tractors, taxis, then like, this can be a daily driver. The thing that made this engine really useful in a passenger car was a variable vane turbo, so that made the response a lot better. Pretty much every PD engine's got a variable vane turbo, so that's basically, this is not from that exact turbo, but it's the easiest way to see it. So when you put your foot down, the vanes close, and that makes the turbo act like a really small turbo.
Sure.
And then as the revs increase or the boost pressure increases, the vanes can open more and more, and then it acts like a really big turbo. So you've got like infinitely variable size turbo.
Okay, so it you know, people always think of diesels as quite sluggish. That technology transformed them into being much more versatile engines.
And I think the only petrol engine that runs VNT turbos at the minute are the Porsche turbos.
Okay, let's strip her.
Yeah, sweet. That's it. Should come off now. Oh gosh, it's stuck that. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, that's why it's cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
Here we go. Some engine archaeology is happening.
Full of water.
I don't think this looks that bad, because I've had an engine, a Jag Straight 6, that looked a hell of a lot worse than this, but it's clearly been left outside, hasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose nothing started growing inside it yet, so you're doing all right.
Well, this is getting a bit organic here.
Yeah, do you think?
There's life starting on these. Yeah. But it's amazing, when an engine is clearly left outside, all it takes is for it to be slightly canted on a crate, or even the driveway slightly sloped, and then one cylinder will get annihilated by the water.
Yeah, we've had this before, yeah, definitely.
But, you know, these things are supposed to be bulletproof.
Yeah.
Chilly, just quick clean up, new head gasket, bang, off you go.
Yeah, I think you'd have got away with, if you'd have known it got a bit of water inside and you didn't want to take the head off, because you knew the head gasket were fine, glow plugs out, turn it over a little bit, squirt a bit of maintenance spray or something like that in and let it have it.
Is this what you class as semi-closed in terms of the cooling jackets?
Yeah, it's all closed, so you've not got any sleeves that can wander around or anything like that. But yeah, the Achilles heel on these when you're pushing big power is just the distance between the cylinders. They sort of kept it a little bit compact. It'd have been nice if there were a little bit more room between them.
But the block itself is pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
Cast iron, isn't it?
Yeah. What we saw with our race cars, you could see where the combustion were pushing into the water jacket. So when we honed them, you'd have a low spot like where any of the cooling jackets were.
And then the cylinder head itself, anything special to kind of look at there?
No, not really. So you're probably better off tip it on its back. Tip it on its back there. The gasket's still on there. Yeah, a little bit of bit of seepage.
Yeah. That's some sea life going on there.
So the head gasket don't look like it's gone anywhere.
The valves look okay?
Yeah, sound. So these are pretty good that they're flat. So if the pistons do it, the valves, they don't bend anything. They just smash the rocker above and maybe damage the cam, but yeah, you can get away with these piston to valve contact. Pretty good, but yeah. Is it a genuine head gasket, that one? I can't see. Yeah, I think it's the genuine head gasket looking at it. So yeah, I don't think this has ever been rebuilt.
Okay, is it what, triple layer or something? This is pretty chunky.
Yeah, so that's the pack of layer in the middle. That's what determines how thick the head gasket is, and then you've got your extra layers for your sealing. Yeah, they're pretty good head gaskets. They're like what your Rover K series man had said with a top class, fully upgraded, never fail head gasket.
Yeah. This is engine rebuild gasket.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my 75 quid so far is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that. What do you want to do then? Do you want to flip it over and...
Yeah, is next thing, what, sump off? Oh.
Hello. Oh, yes. Somebody's tool. We need to get that. Yeah, so somebody's, what even size that? Like a spline, M6 spline, which there's not even a bolt on the engine that starts. It's a good job you didn't just put some oil in it and try start it. Oh, no sealant to worry about.
Yeah, this has been
it's been
recently off.
Yeah.
Okay, immediately, what are you seeing? Looking all right?
Nothing to worry about, I don't know.
Pickup looks clean.
Yeah, it's all tight. I think he's probably just had it off to have a look. Or maybe to try and find that. Definitely, I think that little spline socket has dropped in. They've took this off to find it and it was stuck in the bore. It was stuck in the oil galley, weren't it?
If you're watching this, I forgot what your name is, but I've got you on WhatsApp. If you're watching this video, we're sorry you went to that level.
Yeah.
Try and find your tool.
I weren't there to catch it.
Sorry.
I just went to grab it and it came quicker. That's your combustion chamber.
It's amazing how small it is. It's just this little like cave.
Yeah.
Top of the piston.
Yeah.
Maybe we should rebuild this.
Yeah. I'm not doing it with you.
The questionable, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh. I'll get you another rag. Sorry.
The one time I choose to catch the piston, it's the seaweed one.
You should be able to do it yourself, maybe.
Oh yeah, Beezer, it is a chunk.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, that's it. Pretty much you're down to nailing off in that. So the only interesting thing in these have got under piston oil squirters. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sure the new Yaris GR's got something like three on each piston. Is that what it is? Yeah. Which I don't think many petrols normally have that, do they?
Also, Vauxhall VXR engine. These oil sprayers sit under the pistons and spray oil onto the underside of the pistons to keep them cool. Another bit of tech that will increase engine reliability and help keep the engine protected if you do want more power. So the cylinders look all right.
Yeah. I've not obviously gone crazy on them, but yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. Even though they've had water in them, they don't look bad. You can still see, the honing. You can still see the crosshatch in the
nice.
in the cylinders. So yeah.
Okay, so this engine I've bought, it's a PD 130.
Yeah.
What makes this a 130 versus what is it, a 90,
Yeah.
a 110 and a 150?
There's a few others in between, but yeah, they had to keep it pretty simple. 100, 115, 30, 50, 60.
What makes this a 30?
So the 30s, 50s and 60s have got bigger journals on the big ends.
Okay.
So they're a big end on their crank. I think it's 2 millimeters bigger.
Okay.
The rods are slightly more stout, but not a lot different. And the pistons are slightly different shape. The gallery inside them's a little bit different, and the geometry on the bolts slightly different, but very, very similar. The main thing that you can do to upgrade a 130 to a 150 spec is the crank main bolts. So they're 10.9 grade.
Okay, so they were what were holding the crank in place.
Oh, these ones. These ones are 12.9. So that's had upgraded ones in at some point. Yeah, they're 12.9, but the head bolts, they were the 10.9s.
Okay.
So the PD 150 got upgraded head and main bolts. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's 10.9. That's odd. Very odd.
So it's had some bottom end work at some point?
Maybe, maybe. Or there's some unknown years got a mixture.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, pretty much, like when people, I'm going to put a PD 150 into my car, you kind of don't need to. You just get a 130 and put some head bolts in it. You get away with them anyway. So just put the head bolts, and that's what we generally do.
The engine that took over from the 1.9 PD was the CR, the 2-litre TDI, CR standing for Common Rail. Common rail diesels use a single high-pressure fuel line, or rail, to supply the injectors, and that is deemed more precise due to being electronically controlled versus the mechanical method that a PD uses. It's cleaner, more efficient, more powerful, and quieter. A PD clatters about more than a CR. Their top ends look very different then, moving on from this single cam rocker arm setup to something technically better, but more complicated. Things have been made this chunky to deal with torque. A diesel fundamentally makes more torque than a petrol engine due to having a higher compression ratio, which makes it more efficient, which leads to more torque. All the diesel in the cylinder combusts almost immediately versus having to wait for the flame front from a spark plug to ignite the air-fuel mixture. Diesel is also more energy dense, so more force is acting on the piston during combustion, and they're generally longer stroke engines, using that longer lever to impart a larger amount of torque on the crankshaft. So we've been talking very much 1.9 PD today, but there are other PDs out there, and you've got numerous of them in this workshop. So take us through your PD collection.
Yeah.
Starting with this.
So this is the bottom end of the scale. This is an Audi A2. They did put a 1.2 TDI in these, which were a PD, but the 1.4 is the prolific one that went in Polos, Lupos, everything. Right. So I'll pop the bonnet, which is a bit weird on these. Has it gone?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's very uneventful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you could top your oil up.
Yeah.
Your dipsticks there.
Yeah.
Fill your screen wash up. Yeah, you take the bonnet off on these. Yeah, that's off.
So this is a track car. This is fully stripped out inside.
Yeah, nothing inside. Standard, this is 75 horsepower. As it is now, it's 180. It's big turbo, the same turbo as a hybrid 1.9. We just chop one of the cylinders off and weld it up, because it's only a 3-cylinder. And upgrade. I've got a plated diff to go in it. Everything, absolutely everything.
And you're aiming to take this around the ring at some point?
Yeah, sub-8. Bridge to Gantry, Nürburgring. So that's
coming soon.
the plan. Yeah.
And this will all be on your channel, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll put a
yeah.
link in the description below to the Darkside Developments channel. It's very good. If you like diesel, these are the guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this is what? This is the bottom end.
So 1.4, 3-cylinder, 75 horsepower.
then
so
we've
then-
got the monster.
This is my favourite vehicle in the fleet.
So I do love a V10, and this is technically a PD.
Yep, still PD, yeah, we'll have a look. We'll show you.
I always love coming up to a Twire again, just seeing that V10 badge in the back, thinking you are a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at
So this is basically 2 of the 5-cylinder PD engines that are in like the Transporters and the early Touaregs. It's 2 of those banged together.
And these heads, it's exactly the same, like mechanical
Pretty
diesel
much,
injection.
These
going
are
on.
these are a cross flow just because how they are. So the exhaust manifolds are on the other side, the inlets are here.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much the injectors out of these will just bolt straight in them.
Right.
The pistons are very similar. There's a lot of stuff that's very similar on these. I didn't just change everything. But yeah, this is like if you want an engine to go off-roading in, this is the one to have because there's no belts, there's no cam belt, there's no cam pulley. It's all cogs. It's all gear driven. It's pretty much how a race engine to be built, and there's very limited amount of sensors and stuff that this needs to run. So you can pretty much submerge this and it'll still run. So,
It's just Ferdinand Piech madness.
yeah.
Absolutely love it.
It didn't matter how much it cost to build it. It was just, I want it,
I want a V10.
build it, and see what happens afterwards. The only downside of these, you have to take the engine out to do most difficult tasks.
Yes.
But taking the engine out's about 4 hours job. Trying to get one bolt that you can't get to is a 4-hour job. You might as well just drop it, do the bolts, do everything.
It can't be as bad as Audi's twin turbo V10.
No, I
petrol
wouldn't have said-
one.
I wouldn't
They're
have
supposed to
said
be
so.
absolute madness. to
Yeah,
work on.
they're ridiculous. Yeah, they're like next level beyond this.
This is cool. I love the V10. I think this is the one I'd have, but my God, what is this, Ryan?
Yeah, so this is a V12 TDI. At the minute, it's not a T, it's just a DI.
Okay.
Because we're still working on it. Everybody thinks that YouTube projects take a few days and you just 30 minutes later the
been
car's
there.
finished. Yeah, so it's a V12 from a Q7. I think they only made 1,000 of these or 1,500 of these worldwide. Only a few hundred of them came to the UK. We got a crash damage one, took the engine out, imported a Amarok from Australia, and then, because it's a single cab.
And it fits.
Yeah,
like quite
it's in.
well.
It's in, yeah. I don't know how much trouble we're going to have. But yeah, so the idea with this, we're going to 3D print some manifolds out of stainless steel, so like 3 pieces, and then where the battery is going to be a turbo, and where this space is going to be a turbo there. So yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, so just as it is, PD versus common rail,
Yeah.
what's best?
You're putting me on the spot here now. PD for the guys watching this.
1.9s. 1.9 PD everything.
Yeah, I do like the pick. I suppose my 2 favourite cars are PD, so
Yeah.
but I've not had a chance to drive this one yet.
With my PD fully apart now, Ryan and I went through how the engine absolutely nails performance, simplicity and versatility.
Ryan, I can't believe how simple and easy it was to take this apart. I dismantled a Subaru Flat 4 the other day, and that took, I'm not joking, 3 or 4 times the time it took to get to this stage. But looking at it all, those 3 things associated with the 1.9, so reliability, power, and versatility.
Yeah.
Reliability, just immediately, just how simple everything is. Everything is as mechanical as it can be, and it's just chunky. Looking at this, where are the failure points? Are there any?
Yeah, so we discussed briefly the injectors. They can have problems with the little rivet there popping out, making them noisy.
Yep.
The cams can wear out a little bit, but we're talking problems that happen at like 100,000 miles plus, so well into the service life, what were intended.
How far do they go? Are we talking 500,000 miles plus without a rebuild?
Yeah, we've tuned them with 250, 300,000. We've got customers in America, we over 500,000 on them, and a lot of them, everything's original.
Wow.
And they've remapped them as well, and they're 500,000 miles there.
And as you were saying earlier, VW from the get-go had service intervals that just make way more sense compared to what they're talking about nowadays. I know they backtrack quite a bit, but from factory, these things were how many miles per
I think
service?
Originally 10,000 miles, something like that. I think they might have even dropped them when they had the PD cams still wearing in warranty for some people. But they kind of fixed that. 10,000 mile were normal. This is when people did service the cars every year, not every 5 years when it was 20,000 miles or whatever.
Okay, so next thing is power. Now I have another example piston.
It's on top of my toolbox there.
Oh, you've tried to steal it.
I didn't move it.
This is my example piston. So this has come from a 1.4K series. Then we compare it to our PD here.
Yeah.
There's some serious chunk going on
Yeah,
there.
it's probably 3 times weight.
So just looking at that, why is the actual piston so much chunkier?
The heat that this is going to take and the cylinder pressures is probably, obviously I don't know what horsepower that engine is, but it's going to be 3 or 4 times that at the equivalent power anyway of a petrol engine. And you're just trying to keep the heat in the right place, which is this combustion chamber, so you're going to have a chunkier piston. And it's designed to probably do half the speed, something like that. So the friction is not of a bigger concern for the diesel engine.
Conrod, I mean, that's about 50% chunkier, I'd say.
Yeah, there's a lot of bending force being put through that.
And it'll almost certainly be the same, like the crank looks pretty meaty there. It's a heavy old crank, that
Yeah,
thing.
the cranks are forged from the factory on these as well. So the guys who are pushing big power on the 1.8 turbos and 2 litre TFSIs, they've used the diesel crank.
Okay, so this is a PD 130 with a remap. What are we talking?
170, 180, depending what dyno you're on. Our dyno generally says 175, something like that.
Okay, and then you can start doing bolt-ons, you can start forging different bits.
Yeah.
How far can you take one of these?
You can go to town. There's upgrades for pretty much every component on these. They're not into the petrol tuning stuff where there's billet blocks and stuff like that, but we do CNC ported heads. We've not got one of those, or I'd show it you. With golf ball dimples inside, and we regrind the cams for more lift, more duration, and change the PD lobe. Upgraded head bolts, upgraded head studs. We've had 600 plus out of these. Yeah, it's not drivable on the road at that. There's a fair bit of nitrous doing a bit of the lifting at the upper RPMs, but yeah, it's 600 plus. And that was standard crank, standard block. And we've done it when we've been in a bit of a rush, just left the standard rods and pistons in and just whacked a head on there and just sent it. So
Okay. So we've got our reliability, we've got power, versatility. What did VW do to these engines when they were designing them that meant they could go in virtually anything? Is it the engine mounts? What did they design so it could be thrown in virtually any car?
Yeah, the architecture of the block is pretty much the same as all the way back to like a Mark 1 Golf. So the gearbox from a Mark 1 Golf would fit onto this engine if you wanted to.
Right.
So it kept it pretty... I don't know whether the enthusiast scene is even a consideration for a manufacturer, but obviously Volkswagen's always had a heritage of that. So it seems to work, and that's why these are still on the road today.
And I guess that variable vane turbo, that means it has enough torque to pull everything from a Polo all the way to a much chunkier Passat or bigger car.
Yeah.
So it's got that versatility in terms of just being able to move quite a different span of vehicle size.
Yeah, and the block and head pretty much remained the same across the entire 1.9, really. They didn't do anything too crazy to make them more torquey or handle the power better, really. So yeah, pretty versatile.
So clearly Volkswagen did a great job, but you upgrade them.
Yeah.
So we've got up on here. Okay, let's start with turbo upgrades. What have we got here? What's this one here?
So this is pretty much our bolt-on hybrid. So the exhaust side of everything, so the EGR still fits and works. The downpipe fits exactly as standard, but then we've got rid of the factory clip connector for the boost pipe. The standard inlet pipe fits, so it pretty much bolts on. So this is, we'd call this like a 1780 or an 1852. So it's a slightly bigger turbine, slightly bigger compressor. These do about 220 horsepower.
Okay.
That's the turbo that I put on my Audi A2, and it's probably a little bit too big for it. But
And at this point, are you having to upgrade clutch and other components, or is this still okay?
Ideally, you would. If what we generally say, if somebody's on a tight budget, we'd put that on. If the turbo's gone pop and they just want an upgrade, we'd put that on, see how it goes. If we tune it and it starts slipping the clutch or the flywheel starts to judge, back it back off, and when they upgrade it, change it then. But yeah, it would work with the standard stuff.
Okay, and then they've got fed up of 200 horsepower.
Yeah.
And they want something a bit chunkier. What are we talking with this one?
Yeah. So this is a 3 litre Audi turbo that's been re-engineered with a mechanical actuator or vacuum actuator, welded the housing so it fits in a similar-ish position.
So this has come from a V6 TDI?
V6 TDI, yeah, the 3-litre V6.
Yep.
We have to chop some bits off to get it to fit, and then we make these tubular manifolds in-house.
That is nice.
So it's a fully machined collector, which is all 316 stainless, so it's like as strong and as sort of anti-corrosion and easy to weld as can be. And then we make the flange. So these flanges are actually made from mild steel, because the mild steel doesn't warp as easily. So even though it's all stainless steel, that's still mild steel, which it's an high quality one anyway.
Okay.
And we have the oval to round transition machine into them. But yeah, getting a bit nerdy about the manifolds here. But they are a work of art. We don't sell as many of them as we probably should. And if these were fitted to, like, I don't know, Porsche, Ferraris, that sort of stuff, they'd be 5 times the price that we charge for them, even though we...
Okay.
Nobody will sell it with the cheapest at what we do, that is for definite.
So what's our power jump with this?
So that turbo will do on its own, just the standard turbo will do 300 horsepower plus, roughly. You have to do all the supporting mods to the engine to get that. But then we can hybridise that turbo to one that'll do 400 plus, so...
But I guess with diesel, we're talking torque, so I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of newton meters coming out of these things.
Yeah, you're going to be at, I don't know, then you'd have to do the conversion, but 450 pounds-feet of torque, something like that. But the problem is, as we work our way up with these turbos, you're moving that torque up, and you need to increase the revs to go with that, so then you'd have to make sure you've got the supporting mods to allow that.
We make a bit of a jump now. This looks like it's come from a Scania truck.
Yeah, this is...
You're putting this on a 1.9 PD.
Yeah. So this is actually from a John Deere combine harvester.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense.
So I think in standard form they do like 350 horsepower or something like that on the track, on a 12-litre tractor, or whatever it is, 11-litre tractor. But we...
What a monster.
Yeah, I think we run 90 psi through that. 90 psi boost.
Wow.
I think diesel only were 450 horsepower, something like that.
So is this where your 600 horsepower drag cars come from?
So we can sit on the line and rev it. We mess about with the injection timing, and that'll do 80 psi, sat on the line, ready to go. And then when you let it go, it'll do. It just keeps going more, it gets like 100 psi. So that's the air side of things. Obviously, a diesel engine's air and fuel just like any engine.
Yeah.
You've got to have you don't have to have them in equal measure like you do in a petrol engine. You can have too much of one or too much of the other, and you have the problems that come with that.
Okay, so this is air. What we got into the
so
upgrade,
obviously,
we grab Earth.
Jump to grab it. So that's a standard. Which engine? Yeah, I'll have a look at the part number. I'll tell you. So yeah, that's not actually a PD1 but anyway. So that's a standard injector. The standard PD100 injectors will do 180 horsepower as a set of 4. The standard PD130, 150 injectors, which are the same, they'll do 230s. Some people stretch them to 250s, but you're dumping a lot of energy into the exhaust doing that, so you're going to start getting excess temperatures. So yeah, we say 230s like the limit of them. So then if you want to go further than that, you need to upgrade the nozzles, which whoever gets this set of injectors and one of them's nozzles and one of them's not in the box sealed up, it was Mike's fault. So this is the upgraded nozzle. So the tiny little holes on the end here. So these tiny little nozzles here, which these are...
yes, okay.
Yeah, these are usually spark eroded in. They're that tiny.
Wow.
Those will be slightly larger. And then I don't know if it'll come out. If you want
So they exist on this?
Yeah, you can't see them because they're just covered in crap. But there's 2,000 bar behind that, so it'll come out. So yeah, so we fit those, but you have to have them calibrated on a proper test bench. And you have to have a little play about with all the solenoid and everything to get them to equally flow. But these 16 means 160% over. So that's 160% larger nozzle size than the original one. But that doesn't mean 160% more flow.
So would you associate that with sort of this level of turbo?
Yeah, we generally say if you go into that one and you want nearly 300, you go to the 100%. If you want to go beyond that and be adding nitrous and stuff, or you want to get to, you'd need them for like 400 horsepower. But when we
Is nitrusing a diesel a thing? I didn't know that.
It's a very good thing.
My God.
Yeah, it's like crack for diesel engines.
Maybe we should rebuild this 1.9.
Yeah.
I was just stripping it for a bit of a video, but now there's some serious talk going on.
It does work pretty good.
Okay, and then we've got some pistons and con rods here.
Yeah, so this is that's all
upgrade.
the fun. That's all the fun stuff for making the power. But if you want to keep it,
You don't want to bend anything.
Yeah. So these are H-beam rods.
It's like grabber.
Yeah. So there's a bit of discussion about whether H-beam are stronger, but they're stronger in one direction and maybe not as strong in the other. But we have bent the H-beams before as well. You bend them like that way rather than that way.
Okay.
So that you can get I-beam rods as well, which are a lot heavier, but they're the next step up. They're sort of more shaped like that, but even chunkier. But yeah, that's it. That's the upgrade that we do for them. Not a lot of people go for that. They're that strong anyway. You're not like, as soon as you get to this power, you've got to have that. You can get away.
So what sort of horsepower can these standard con rods get to, do you reckon?
I think you do 300 plus without needing to do that. It doesn't help me selling product by telling people that, but rather be honest.
You want the shiny ones anyway.
A lot of people do. That is the problem. When you rebuild an engine, putting the old stuff back in is not what a lot of people want to do. So.
Okay, and then alongside them, you can upgrade pistons. So
Yeah,
I know this isn't a PD one, but it's roughly the right thing.
Yeah, so what we do to these, so you can't really see because we've had it coated, but this is a ceramic coating to prevent the heat getting into the piston too much, because you want to keep it in the combustion chamber if you can. One of the mods this has had done, which we can do to them, if you look, the bowl's more open, it's not got as much of a pronounced lip.
Right, sure.
So we would open that, and that'd lower the compression ratio, which will obviously give the piston an easier time, but it lowers the efficiency, so then you'd have to get more fuel in there to counteract that. But we reshape the bowl slightly to gain a bit more strength, because this is the first area to go. It'll melt away. So we don't do this yet, and it was a thing that we're going to get onto. But the newer common rail pistons, like what we run in our race car, they've got what they call a remelted bowl.
You may not be a V-dub guy, I'm not, but you cannot talk down to the 1.9 TDI. It is one of the best engines ever made. In terms of stocky, torquey, reliable, powerful engines, it does not get much better than this. Arguably, it is the most reliable European engine ever made. I think we'll give the world title to the Japanese. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up for me. If you're into Volkswagens, definitely check out OBD11. What's for you won't go by you, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe for more content like this.